At the United Nations Security Council, Russia's ambassador quoted a 17th-century English poet, "Do not ask for whom the bells toll. They toll for you." He wasn't speaking to Venezuela. He was speaking to every country in Latin America, watching what happens when you challenge Washington's interests. Because according to Moscow, what's unfolding in the Caribbean isn't just about one nation, it's a blueprint for future interventions. And the message is being written in military deployments, oil seizures, and over 100 lives lost at sea. The session was convened at Venezuela's request after months of escalating tensions. Since August, the United States has deployed its largest military presence in the Caribbean in decades. Warships and surveillance aircraft initially justified as drug interdiction without presenting evidence. But recent actions revealed deeper motives. The Trump administration ordered seizure of oil tankers carrying Venezuelan crude. Actions Caracas denounces as theft and piracy. More than 20 vessels have been bombed, resulting in over 100 deaths, with Washington providing no proof the targeted boats were involved in illicit activities. Russia's permanent representative Vasili Nebenzia issued a stark warning. What the U.S. is currently doing against Venezuela is not an isolated action, but rather an intervention that could serve as a model for future military actions against other Latin American states, he stated. According to Nebenzia, U.S. actions represent a clear signal to all countries aspiring to follow a sovereign path. He warned that Washington only respects independence if nations align with American interests, adding, "As soon as you try to do something for your people, you will be treated just as they are treating Venezuela now." China joined Russia in backing Caracas, with Ambassador Sun Lei condemning actions that violate sovereignty or constitute unilateral intimidation. Both Moscow and Beijing positioned their support as defense of international legal principles, arguing that military deployments and cargo seizures constitute aggression under the UN Charter, regardless of ideological disagreements with Maduro's government. The strategic context matters because Venezuela possesses the world's largest proven oil reserves. Russia and China have invested billions in Venezuelan oil infrastructure over 2 decades, creating overlapping interests where an intervention ostensibly about democracy also serves to displace competing powers from lucrative resources. Nebenzia's warning suggests Moscow believes Washington is testing methods that could be replicated against other governments who refuse to prioritize American corporate access to their resources. At the Security Council, Venezuela's representative framed it existentially. "We are faced with a power acting outside international law, demanding that Venezuelans abandon our country and hand it over." Whether that characterization is accurate depends on evidence Washington has yet to present publicly linking military operations to concrete illegal activities rather than geopolitical objectives. But the pattern Nebenzia described is historically documented. U.S. interventions from Guatemala to Chile to Nicaragua established templates later applied elsewhere across Latin America. Economic strangulation through sanctions, military encirclement, justified by vague security threats, seizure of assets under dubious legal authority. What appears as pressure on one government today establishes precedent for intervention elsewhere tomorrow, particularly against nations controlling strategic resources or challenging regional dominance. The Bell's John Donne wrote about toll for shared humanity, reminding us no nation is isolated from injustices affecting others. Russia's invocation suggests those bells now toll for sovereignty itself in a region watching one government face military pressure while wondering who might be next. Share this story because understanding patterns prevents repetition, and what happens in the Caribbean establishes precedents reaching far beyond one coastline.